Well, hello. Thanks for coming back to check out another video. So, we are here today to sit down and do another spooky eyeshadow edition. I don't know. I just really like calling it that because it's spooky season, even though my eye looks aren't really like spooky or Halloween in any way. They're just eye looks. But what better time to pull out the Shroud Cosmetics BattyBean collaboration palette? It's freaking bats. I will open this up for you guys on the inside. But also what I will do is run a close-up clip of this palette as well as some swatches. So this eye look that I have on right now is look number 2. I will leave chapters so that you can skip around. In the description box, I will also leave different things that are on my face, like blush, bronzer, highlighter, all of that good stuff in case you want to know because I did not mention it in the video. I will also tell you guys, I filmed both looks in one night. So you're going to just see me wearing the same green sweater, and I think that's okay. So I'm really proud of how both of these looks turned out. I really did enjoy doing them, and I have a lot of fun every time I do open up this palette and play with it. So without any further rambling, let's just get on into this and roll look 1. Alright, so I think we're going to go for an all matte look using this palette. I'm not like the biggest fan of all matte looks, but for whatever reason, I just feel like the matte shadows in here really go well together. And I have like paired them all together in one way or another, but I've always used like a shimmer shadow with it. So I'm just kind of curious. Let's do it. Let's try it. Let's be adventurous, right? So I'm going to start out with Derry here, which is the darker purple shade. And I am just taking that on one of these Glamlite brushes that came from the Mikayla collection. It's an 04 brush. I am not really sure if Glamlite like are these just brushes that they have, you know, and they just like repackaged them so that they could put them in this Mikayla collab, or did she create them? I have no idea. I just happened to come across the Glamlite collection at CVS, so that is how I acquired it. Anyway, gonna take Derry and just stamp that first into my outer V and get the placement that I want for it. We're going to do a two-toned crease, I think. So my plan is like do this in the outer V, then probably take the lighter matte blue and have the two-tone crease, do the limey green like Trapa shade, yeah, that's what it's called, on the lid, and then take the other matte, the darker green, and have that as the lower lash line shade. So that is kind of what I'm aiming for. I'm trying to get better about, you know, trying to talk more in these videos and not do like the speed through, which is how I used to film them. And obviously I'm still very much working on like angles and keeping the camera in focus and things like that. Alright, so I'm just going to take the same Glamlite brush and just kind of like gently buff over these edges so that we have somewhat of a blend since we're not using a traditional transition shade. Alright, so I don't think they're exactly the same. Like, I think this one has a little bit better of like a diagonal inward, which is what I wanted, than this eye. But it's okay. What does Heather Austin say? We're not here to be perfect. We're here to just have fun. Isn't that what it is? So, gonna take Spooky, which is the like, kind of like, I don't know, periwinkle blue kind of shade. Like, it's really pretty. It's not a pastel, but it is on the lighter side. So I'm going to take that on a rougher 14 brush, and I'm just going to kind of follow this diagonal shape and bring that down into my crease to finish it off. Alright, so this shadow definitely does better if you do more of like a packing motion and then like blend it out to the way that you want it. So I'm just going to like lightly blend this out, but I'm going to leave this shadow a bit more like unblended than the darker Derry shade just because it's a blue, and I feel like if I blend it too much then it's going to start to almost look like a bruise, you know? Alright, so I'm going to take that Trapa shade, which is that like chartreusey pretty green color. I'm going to take it on a BH Cosmetics brush. It's from their Rose Gold collection. It's the number 7. I guess the biggest thing is that it's just one of those more dense, like, kind of packing brushes, like what you would typically use to put down, like, a shimmer shadow. But I am just going to stamp this on where I want it, and my mirror is really far away, so I'm having a little bit of a rough go trying to make sure that I've got this where I want it. And hopefully it, like, yeah, I think it's going to cover over those mattes because I don't feel like I have a lot of real estate on my eye area. So I always bring my crease colors onto my lid inevitably. And since this is a matte shadow, you know, we're not using like a Too Faced glitter glue, or I mean a NYX glitter glue to like put down the shimmer. So, but this is all we're gonna do. All right, so I did lose just a little bit of Derry in the outer V when I put down the Trapa shade. So I'm just gonna gently try to get a little bit of a darker corner and fade these two shadows together a bit better. I'm just barely dipping my brush back into Derry to accomplish this. Hopefully the camera stays in focus a bit better. I have my settings set to like auto eye focus where it tracks your eyes. So if I look down and it goes out of focus, like, I'm really sorry, but that's just the easiest setting for me to have it on and make sure that, like, you know, my videos still look good. I say all this as I look down again. Yeah, so I feel like also we lost a little bit of the blue. Let me grab my brush. I'm actually going to switch to a Rephr 13 brush because it's smaller than the 14, and I feel like I can actually just get in here and stamp this right where I want. Now this blue and this green are not going to like blend together like the green does into the Derry shade, or even the blue does into the Derry shade. Like, that Derry shade is such a unique kind of purple because it does play well with the blue and the greens. So my point, I know that this like lid area is not going to be like a good blend, like it is going to look choppy, but like I said, I just think all three of these colors play so nicely together and just look so fun, right? Like, do you think that too? All right, we're gonna try to do a lower lash line together. I always poke myself in the eye, so I'm taking the like foresty green shade, which is Addams, and I'm just gonna do that all over the whole lash line really tightly. Then I will go in with not mascara. I mean, I will use mascara, but then I will go in with an eyeliner for my waterline, and I'm torn. Normally I do my eyeliner before I do the lower lash line shade, but I'm torn on a like bright turquoise blue or just a black to do this look. So I kind of wanted to see how I felt after I had all the shadows on. And then I know we said an all matte look, but I think I might do one of these very beautiful shimmer shades as my inner corner highlight as opposed to a matte eyeshadow. Alright, so there's our green lower lash line done, and I am going to take the green shade in the center, Sam, which is like the shimmer shade, and I am going to put that on my inner corner just because it's so pretty. It's one of my favorite shadows from this palette, and I feel like it'll just be a nice fun pop. Alright, so I did decide just to do black in the waterline. I don't like to line the top of my lashes. I just feel like my eyes are so closed off anyway. If I do any type of liner work or like a winged eyeliner, it just makes them look more closed off. So I need to decide on a lip color and put on some mascara. I will zoom you guys out and we will talk final look. Alright, so zoomed out final look. I really like this, and like I said, I'm not usually a fan of all matte eye looks, so I decided to go with a very vampy lip. Do we think it works with this eye look? I do. It's from Oden's Eye. This is in the shade Perfect Plum. This is one of their matte cream lipsticks, so they're super drying on the lips. They fade really nicely, like I like them in that sense, but yeah, your lips feel like the Sahara Desert. So I did top it off with a ColourPop Lux Lip Oil in the shade Heyyy, because it's got 3 Ys. And then I did use the ColourPop Lip Liner in the shade BFF2. And then for mascara, I just used the one that I have open, which is from r.e.m Beauty. So this is their Lengthening Mascara in Midnight Black. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this first eye look, and let's roll the clip onto eye look 2. Alright, so I'm sitting here looking at this palette, and I'm really, I don't know. I kind of want to play with this shade in my crease, deepen it up with this shade, maybe go in with this blue, and then possibly try like doing the two-tone shimmer look on my lid. Because I feel like this color story is a little bit chaotic, but the colors really do blend well together. You know what I mean? So I think this green and this are going to do nicely. Because the other thing that you could do is like a more monochromatic look, and I don't want that. Like, I want the contrast. So I do think we're going to first go in with that Trapa shade, which would be the kind of chartreuse green shade. Again, if I look down and the camera goes out of focus, I'm really sorry about that. So I'm just going to take this on a Rephr 15 brush, which is a very big fluffy blending brush for our crease. And like I said, it's the Trapa shade, so I'm going to try to put this in here. I always feel like I make the funniest faces when I'm doing my eye looks, because I am the kind of person where my mouth, like, I don't know, it just, I can't do my eyeshadow without my mouth hanging open. It's just really funny. So I'm trying to like be conscious of that and not just sit here having my mouth wide open while, you know. Also, I'm trying to be better about not putting my hand directly in my face, because I know that kind of takes the camera out of focus as well, but I don't know like what else to do. I don't really have like a good setup, you know what I mean, to like film eye looks, but I really love filming eye looks. So yeah, because quite obviously I'm just in my bedroom, and then the other room that I was filming in, it's just a bedroom too, but it's like we have a lot of house projects going on right now, and so it's kind of become our storage room. Like we have some ceiling fans in there, we have, you know, some wallpaper and stuff like that, because we're just kind of fixing up inside parts of the house. So it's, I can't really film in there anymore because it's a little too cluttered and chaotic. So, all right, we have a little guest star that wanted to come and play with makeup with us. So now on a Rephr 13 brush, which is just a very small like blending brush. I really love this for my outer V. I think I've said that multiple times. I'm just going to take the dark purple shade, which I think is called Derry. And we're just going to stamp this in the outer V where we want it. And I do like to bring my shadows a little bit higher than like my crease area, simply because I have hooded eyes, and I feel like if I don't do that, then you really can't see, you know, when my eyes are open, like what the eyeshadow is looking like. So I'm just really looking to get this placement of where I want this, and I don't want to bring it up too far up to where I cover up the, you know, that beautiful green shade. All right, so I like the placement of that. So then I'm just gonna softly on the edges kind of blend that. But again, I don't want to lose, I might go back and like buff out this edge here with some of the green, just so that I make sure it doesn't really get lost. I'll probably use this dark purple shade on my lower lash line as well, but we're not quite to that point yet. All right, so I did put down NYX glitter glue all over my lid so that my shimmers could just pop a bit more. I don't really like to spray my shimmers because I just feel like I inevitably always get hard pan, and I'm not like spraying directly into the pan. You know what I mean? Like I'm picking the shadow up on my brush, and then I'm, you know, spraying my brush, putting it on my eye, just like everyone else does. For whatever reason, I just feel like it never really quite works out for me. So this Grim shade is really pretty. I love these kinds of oceany blue shades. But I don't want that to be my whole lid shade. I really just want that next to the darker purple. Totally forgot to tell you what brush. This is one of the ColourPop brushes. It's the E18. It's more of like a fluffy brush. I'm just using, that's what I used for the Grim shade, and that's what I'm going to use for this shade. So this is Apparition, and I'm just going to tuck this on like the inner part of my eye. Try to keep my mouth closed while we do this. And then I really like this like dabbing, patting kind of motion as opposed to like sweeping the shadow across my lid, because I feel like it gives you a better blend between the two shimmers, like a nicer fade. Alright, so I feel like we've lost a little bit of this dark Derry shade in the outer V, so the same brush that we used the first time for it, the Rephr 13, I'm just going to go back in and kind of pad this in here, give it a bit of a better blend onto the shimmer, and not really concentrate on blending it out because I've already blended out the edges, you know. I'm just putting this basically right on my eyelid just to deepen the shadow back up. Alright, so I'm going to take the Rephr 15 again, which was the brush that we had the chartreusey green shade Trapa on, and I'm just kind of like feathering that along just to make sure my edges of everything are blended out and that I didn't really lose any of that green eyeshadow. All right, so all of my edges are blended out, and then I did decide to do the blue eyeliner in my waterline because I just feel like that'll help bring out that grim shade that we put, you know, near the darker shadow. My brain. So this is from LA Girl. It's one of their Shockwave neon eyeliners, and it is in the shade Electric. I really do like those. I feel like they do a good job of like staying in the waterline, trying to not knock over my brushes. Okay, lower lash line. I'm just gonna take that Derry shade, which is the darker purple shadow, and just snugly tuck that up against my lashes. All right, let's tie some green back into this look because I feel like it's very like blue purple heavy, and I think this is the same shadow that I used as an inner corner highlight in the first look, but it's Sam, which is the like middle shade. It is a little bit darker, like it's not really like a brightening shadow for your inner corner, but I feel like with this palette and the looks that you're gonna get from it, it's almost fun to have that like not normal inner corner highlight. You know what I mean? All right, so inner corner is done. I really don't experience a lot of fallout with this palette, which I have to say I'm really impressed with because I feel like sometimes with these more tricky colors, like you've got the blues and that interesting green and like the really dark purple in here, I feel like sometimes those can be like they can give you some issues and have a lot of fallout to them, and especially with the Shroud formula. Now this is the only palette from them that I own, but I do find that the shadows are a little bit more on the powdery side, so I'm just always pleasantly surprised that like, yeah, I don't experience any fallout, maybe like very minimally, but you know, not like a huge amount like you would expect. So I am going to put on mascara and decide on a lip color, and I will be right back to show you the final look a little more put together. All right, so zoomed back out, look completed. I could not have been bothered to actually do my hair or brush it, so you're just getting it like this. It's really messy. But either way, I had a lot of fun playing around with the BattyBean Shroud Cosmetics palette. It's freaking bats. Let me know down below which look ended up being your favorite. Before I forget though and end this video, let me just quickly tell you I did use the same mascara. So this is the r.e.m. Beauty, the Lengthening Mascara. When do you think I will learn the name of this and not have to look at it? But it's just their black mascara. And then for lips, I just did a combination of my two Bite Beauty lipsticks. So one is in Pink Paloma and one is in Party Punch. And then for lip gloss, instead of doing a nude, I thought this could be kind of fun. I have one of the Glamlite lip glosses from the Mikayla Part 2 collection. I don't know the name of this. Like, it's not on the packaging anywhere. Like, kind of frustrating, but it's the lip gloss that has, it's white based and it has like the green flecks and sparkles in it. I just thought that would be kind of fun since we do have green on in this eye look, but I don't know if you can see the green flecks or shimmers from that far away. So that is it. That is all that I have for you. I appreciate you making it through and sticking until the end. I hope you're having a good day, a good night, or a good whatever, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.